There was once a young girl with a red hooded jacket. She wore this jacket all the time. It was a special gift from her mom, so she loved it dearly. One day, her mother asked her to take some food to her grandmother. The young girl, Red, didn't see her grandma very often, so she was excited about her trip. Her grandma lived in the same town, but she lived deep in the woods. The woods were awfully scary to most people, but not to Red. She found them full of peace and solitude. Most people feared what was in the woods, but Red was young and fearless. There were wild animals, some fierce and dangerous. Wolves and bears lived out there, but Red knew to stay on the path and not to travel after dark. So her mom gave her the basket full of fresh baked goods and fresh produce, and Red jumped on her bike. It was early afternoon when she entered the woods. Red's mom always taught her not to talk to strangers, so when Red came upon a man walking in the woods, she just rode by. But the man hollered at her, and as he did, the tire on her bike blew out. Red took a tumble, but her grandmother's basket didn't spill. The man came running to help Red. She dusted off, thanked him, and pulled her bike from the ground. She started to limp away immediately. The man lightly grabbed her shoulder. "Young lady," said the man, "it is not safe in these woods." Red replied, "I'll be fine. I know to stay on the path," she continued. "I am taking this basket of food to my grandmother, and she only lives just around the bend from here." The man introduced himself. "I am Tough, the lumberman. I cut down trees for a living." "You know there are wolves in these woods." Red nodded. Tough continued, "If you need my help, I will be here cutting down trees until dusk, and my camp is right here. Just holler." Red smiled and continued on her voyage to Grandma's. Walking with her bike made her trip take longer, and it was nearing dusk when she reached her grandma's house. Something sent a chill through Red, but she tried to ignore it as she knocked at her grandmother's door. "Who's there?" her grandmother called. "It's Red, grandmother. I came with your fresh baked goods and produce." "Come in, dear," called out her grandmother with an unusually deep voice. Red entered slowly. The kitchen was a mess, but Red tried to ignore it. Her grandma was an old lady, but didn't always have the energy for cleaning. "Grandma, I put your food away." "Thank you, dear. I am not feeling well. Come to the bedroom." Red entered the bedroom, and it was very dark. Night had settled outside, and the shades were drawn in her grandmother's room. The light did not come on when Red flipped the switch. A growl sounded from the bed in which her grandmother lay, and as Red began to speak, a wolf jumped from the bed. Red only had time to scream before the wolf lunged at her. Out in the woods, the lumberman heard a scream. Night had settled, and he remembered the young lady that had passed by. He took a large flashlight and his rifle and headed down the path. When he got to the small home, he knocked and only heard a growl. He stormed in and rescued Red from the wolf. "You saved my life, but where is my poor grandmother?" Red was interrupted by a noise behind her. Her grandmother stumbled out of the closet where she had been hiding. Red and the lumberman were very relieved to see her. They all sat down to have some tea and cookies. Red and the lumberman both learned that a stranger is only a stranger until you get to know each other. If the lumberman had not been such a gentleman, Red may have been hurt by the wolf, and who knows what would have happened to her grandmother.